Good evening, boys and girls. Are you ready for bed? Are you ready for a bedtime story? Tonight's story is called The Gruffalo's Wife. Once upon a time, when the Gruffalo snored, and the Gruffalo's child was feeling less bored, the Gruffalo's wife was wanting to know, "Where have you been coming out of the snow at this time of night?" And she woke up the child with a mighty fright. "Where have you been?" she screamed to high heaven. "I don't know. I thought it was 11 o'clock at night." And when she screamed louder, she gave Dad such a fright that he woke up and scratched his head. "What are you guys doing?" Go back to bed. Go back to bed. Speak to your child. At this time of night, how could I be so mild to let him wander in from the wild? I always wanted to know, where have you been coming out of the snow? Well, the Gruffalo took one look at the child, and the child took one look at his dad, and both of them, rather sad, told a story about the mouse to their wife and mom, who was king of the house. And so the Gruffalo's wife put on the kettle and made a cup of tea, while the Gruffalo and the child settled. "So you boys, big and small, tell me about the mouse. Tell me all. And don't tell me any tales. At least, not any fibs. Or else I'll eat you both like Gruffalo ribs." Gulp went the Gruffalo, and gulp went the child. "Okay, Mummy. Okay, wife. We'll tell you exactly what happened. Out there in the deep dark woods, there is a big mouse who eats anything that looks good, to him at least, because I heard he'd like to eat Gruffalo for a feast." "That's right, Mummy. He's terribly fearsome. He's got bigger, terrible tusks than Daddy. He's got bigger, terrible claws than Daddy. And he's got bigger, terrible teeth than Daddy. Look." And as the child gestured to Mom, Daddy was feeling a bit less glum, for a problem shared is a problem halved. And after a while, the wife started to laugh. "Oh, ha, 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 dear husband and child, it sounds to me like you've been taken for a ride. Let me go and see where the mouse is to hide, because I'm the Gruffalo's wife. Won't you see? Nobody dares mess with me. Nobody dares mess with the wife of the Gruffalo and the mother of the child. That's right, I'm the Gruffalo's wife." And the Gruffalo's wife, curious and wanting to know, stepped outside into the cold snow, for she was the one who didn't want to hide, to find the mouse who'd taken a family for a ride. "My family not stupid. I'll make you see. Nobody's afraid of me, and I'll eat you up like little mouse tea." And so the Gruffalo's wife trudged through the snow, all the while wanting to know, "Who is this mouse who tricked my fam? I'll fry you up with some spam." And then she stopped. "Oh, what could that be? Is that a mouse in front of me?" Indeed, it was the mouse who was trying to spy on the Gruffalo's house, although the snow had got so cold. He'd fallen asleep, and he was so bold as to not hide in a little nook and cranny, because he thought all the Gruffalos were as strong as his granny. So, up to the mouse, the wife of the Gruffalo, trudged through the snow, awfully slow, because she didn't want to wake up this sleeping mouse who'd fallen asleep spying on her house. "No, you won't get away from me, you little mouse. I'm going to eat you for my tea. Tomorrow, I think." "That's right. Tomorrow will do. I'll put you on ice until I cook you." And so the wife of the Gruffalo picked up the mouse by its tail and took him back to her house, where as soon as she entered the door and went into the kitchen, she threw the mouse into the fridge and started itching. "Oh, this dirty, terrible, stinky mouse. I bear to see him in my clean house." And as the mouse lay frozen in the freezer, the Gruffalo and the Gruffalo's child had tried to please her. He'd set the table. "At this time of night, don't be silly. Get back to bed, you silly Billy." And then she sneezed, and sneezed again. "Are you okay, Mom? Do you want some ibuprofen?" "No, don't worry about me. Just go and lie down beside your dad, and when we all eat this mouse tomorrow, we'll all be glad. And it's only the mouse that will ever be sad, because nobody is afraid of me. You see, I'm the Gruffalo's wifey." And then she sneezed again, and again, and again, and again, and again. And a tear rolled down her cheek, and she said, "Even though nobody's afraid of me, I think I've got an allergy to mice. To mice. Oh no, I'm allergic to mice." "And I thought I was only allergic to lice," said the Gruffalo's wife, as she sneezed again, and again, and again, and again, and again. And then came a knock on the freezer door. "Let me out, or I'll give you some more of my hairs off my back and my chinny chin chin. With the amount you're sneezing, how can you have me for your dinny din din?" said the mouse, shivering cold in the freezer box, in the house, in the cold, in the snow, in the dark, in the deep dark woods, where nobody in this situation felt any good. You see, the mouse was frozen, and the wife was sneezing, and the daddy and the child, well, they were just babies asleep. And so, with one huff and puff and a big push with all his might, the frozen mouse opened the fridge freezer door and fell onto the kitchen floor. And after he fell, his hairs flew up high and into the Gruffalo's wife's eye. And oh, golly gosh, you know what happened next. She sneezed and sneezed and sneezed, and then the rest. And as she sneezed, the mouse thawed and into a puddle. He was feeling not bored, and he tried to scramble outside and thank the lucky stars, because he almost died in the kitchen that night by the Gruffalo's wife's knife. But he was quite lucky, because she sneezed and sneezed and sneezed again, and he was able to run back to his den, past the fox and the owl and the snake. "Where are you going to, you little mouse?" "Oh, for goodness sake, I just almost died. The Gruffalo's wife nearly chopped me up. And I've just thawed out from the fridge freezer. Look at me. My tail's all bent, and it's all blue and green. Well, I'll come and eat you, said the snake. And the mouse slapped the snake and said, Get lost. And he ran into his den, never to be seen again. The end.